Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. I'm pretty sure it's yours too, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand, right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to go to one of my favorite places, and it happens to be a restaurant in Puerto Vallarta. Go figure. I say that a lot, don't I? We're going to be going to Cuates y Cuetes. It's a restaurant and beach bar right on Los Muertos Beach. It also has a fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier that I was just talking about, but from the other side of the pier. Some may say it's even a better view of the pier, but we won't get into that right now. We're going to be meeting Esther Hernandez Zermeño. She is the lady in charge. This is a family business, but she is the go-to gal over at Cuates y Cuetes. But before we get to Esther, let's see what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week, the 7th of December, 2020. Church bells are ringing in Puerto Vallarta, but there are no processions this year. The yearly pilgrimages to the Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, those 12 days of processions where the neighborhoods and the businesses and different organizations and groups all take turns participating in a centuries-long tradition of marching, proceeding with friends and family and co-workers and enjoying a sense of community. But that's not happening this year. Big surprise. Instead, the bells will be ringing, and the bells have been ringing. The services are held on TV. It's all virtual this year, as we spoke about in an earlier podcast. And it really is good to know that this year is virtually over. I mean, can't get any worse, right? Right. Anyhow, these 12 days commemorate the interaction, the meeting, the deal between the Indian peasant, Juan Diego, and the Virgin Mary, the Virgin de Guadalupe in Mexico City. And that all happened where today the Basilica de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe in Mexico City is built, and it's a very, very important event in Mexican and Catholic history. And like all this lovely year, it's, well, not happening. What can I tell you? Our favorite people over at Vallarta Food Bank are planning something special for the families that are really in dire need of their services during the pandemic and beyond, by the way. So let me read from their Facebook post. It reads, we're planning a special Christmas lunch at our soup kitchen on December 25th for the families. We would like to gift small toys to the kids and a bag of Christmas cookies to each family to take home with them. If you would like to donate toys or homemade cookies, please send us a message. The last 8 months have been a crazy yet amazing experience for all of us here at the food bank. With your support, we have provided for thousands of families, and we will continue as long as the need is there. Let's get together and do something meaningful for them this holiday. Thank you very much. And it's signed Francie and Frankie and Jim. And I have a link in the show notes where you can contact them and make a donation, especially, for this holiday surprise, for this great idea for the families in need. So if you're out of town, you might want to send some money. And if you're in town, you might want to maybe buy some toys or make some cookies, see what you can do to help out. So anyway, I have links and I have different ways that you can help them. And I want to thank you, Jimmy and Frankie and Francie. You guys are doing incredible work over there at the Vallarta Food Bank. Now, a few weeks back, we talked about construction. There was some construction of condominiums, and that was happening on the land on the beach, actually adjacent to the Los Arcos Marine Sanctuary. I don't know if you recall that or not, but we now have a petition in opposition to the project. Let me read from this post and petition at change.org, and it reads, "Stop the construction in front of Los Arcos de Mismaloya in Puerto Vallarta. We demand a halt to the construction of the breakwater in front of the Marine Flora and Fauna Refuge, Los Arcos de Mismaloya, as it puts the conservation of one of the most biodiverse sites in the entire Bay of Banderas at risk. Los Arcos are an icon of Puerto Vallarta. It is also a key habitat due to the multiple environmental services it provides to nearby communities, as it plays an essential role in coastal dynamics. It is a breeding place, since it functions as a seabed for larvae, shelter, feeding, and reproduction of many species of invertebrate and marine vertebrates, mainly commercial species that feed a large part of the local population. Los Arcos are home to a large number of species, among which at least 6 are in protection status." And I have a link to that petition. They're in the show notes. And now that you know, you need to let your friends and lovers of Puerto Vallarta that you know about this, and have them sign as well. And, share the petition. And let's demand a stop to this kind of development. They're building a rock, kind of a breakwater. And, it's not only they're building these condos, but they're also intruding into the water. And let's see what we can do to help out and stop them from doing some crazy, just silly stuff, okay? So last week I was telling you a story about how I stupidly left my day pack with all my recording equipment, everything. I had some cash there, I had a credit card, a couple other items. I left them all on a bus a couple weeks back when I was visiting and doing interviews in Puerto Vallarta. And I had actually given up any hope of getting the backpack back, but when I got home, I was contacted by a person who said that they had my bag, and last week we were talking about how we were negotiating a deal to get that bag back to me. The lady's name is Marta, and Marta wanted a reward for returning my bag. Now, Marta's idea, of course, was a little bit different than my idea of a reward. My idea was kind of like $150 US, or about 3,000 pesos. And her idea was something like $250 US, or about 5,000 pesos. So, as I explained last week, the equipment was very replaceable, but the interviews that were recorded on the SD card, the memory card, inside of the recording device that was in that bag, was really the only item that I really wanted, that I really needed, because it had interviews on it that I had just taken, and it also had interviews on it that I had done previously that I may never get back. So the more I thought about it, the more I questioned myself, agreeing to pay a ransom to get back my stuff. Now, my wife, she calls me, she says it's my passive-aggressive side, but I guess that's what it is. Anyway, I did an inventory of the interviews that I had lost that I couldn't get back unless I were to, give in. And there were 3. There were 3 that would be gone forever that I just would never be able to re-record another time, even if I tried. Now, there were 3 others that I know that if I were to ask them, there's no question that they would sit down with me and they would do interviews again with me. So I did the math then. I sat and did the math on the items that were lost. The voice recorder, this is a Zoom H6. It's 6 years old. And when it was new, it cost me about $350 US. And each of the 3 microphones that I lost with the cables cost me about $60 a piece. Now, today, that recorder is a bit outdated. I can replace it with a better recorder, actually, that does more stuff for about $200. And I could buy one more microphone, and that would kind of that would be what Marta wants. But if I were to replace all 3 microphones, the whole thing would come to about $360 US. I would buy everything new. I would have stuff that was better, actually, than what I have now. Or I could pay sweet Marta $250 or 5,000 pesos, and I could get back my old equipment, plus that SD card with those precious interviews that are, recorded and ready to go. So what do I do? What do I do? Well, I think I'm going to continue to play hard with Marta. I'm gonna continue my passive-aggressive game here. See if I can get her to squirm a bit. She's not going to get anywhere near what I would be willing to pay her. $150 or 3,000 pesos is more than enough. It's more than generous enough. And not only that, but she got $100 cash out of my bag. She's got that too, just to start with. So anyway, I am going to continue to play hardball, or like my wife says, passive aggressively for another week. And I'll let you know what I decide. If I decide to buy myself some new Christmas equipment, or if I decide to have Marta, spend the Christmas money and send her some pesos for the bag. But we'll find out. More on this next week. Here is an article from The Guardian. It looks like the president of Mexico actually just met Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, my governor. It reads, Mexico, López Obrador says pandemic lockdowns are the tactic of dictators. The fundamental thing is to guarantee liberty, says Mexican president when asked why he almost never wears a mask. Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador suggested on Wednesday that politicians who impose lockdowns or curfews to limit COVID-19 are acting like dictators. The comments came as López Obrador once again fended off questions about why he almost never wears a face mask, saying it was a question of liberty. The Mexican leader said pandemic measures that limit people's movements are fashionable among authorities who want to show that they are heavy-handed dictatorship. A lot of them are letting their authoritarian instincts show, he said, adding, the fundamental thing is to guarantee liberty. López Obrador's comments came a day after the head of the World Health Organization, the WHO, said that Mexico was in bad shape with the pandemic and urged its leaders to take the coronavirus seriously. The number of increasing cases and deaths in Mexico is very worrisome, said the WHO General Director Tedros on Monday. We would like to ask Mexico to be very serious, he said. We have said it in general, wearing a mask is important, hygiene is important, and physical distancing is important, and we expect leaders to be examples. In his comments on Wednesday, it was unclear if the Mexican leader was referring to authorities in other countries or the mainly opposition party local leaders in Mexico. Many governments across the world have effectively implemented lockdowns or limits on when people can leave their homes, something López Obrador has fiercely resisted doing, arguing some people live day to day on what they earn on the streets. Some local governments in Mexico have tried to use police to enforce limits on masks or movement, which resulted in scandals of abusive behavior by police. López Obrador argues that such measures should be voluntary. Everyone is free Whoever wants to wear a face mask and feel safer is welcome to do so, Lopez Obrador said. The Mexican government has gone against the grain of international antivirus practices in two ways. It has offered changing and contradictory advice on the utility of wearing face masks and has described mass testing as wasteful and pointless. Mexico has also seen almost 107,000 test-confirmed deaths so far, the fourth highest toll in the world, but Mexico does relatively little testing, and officials estimate the real death toll is closer to 150,000. And I have a link to that article in the show notes. And for all of you who are waiting on the edge of your chairs for a cure, here is an article about the precious vaccine here in Mexico. This comes from Mexico News Daily. What many people imagined was impossible is now a reality, says Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard. The federal government has struck a deal with the United States pharmaceutical company Pfizer to buy more than 34 million doses of its COVID-19 vaccine, the first 250,000 of which are expected to arrive in Mexico this month. The Health Ministry announced on Twitter that Health Minister Jorge Alcocer signed an agreement with Pfizer on Wednesday for the manufacture and supply of 34.4 million doses of the vaccine it developed with Germany's BioNTech. The vaccine was 95% effective in Phase 3 trials and caused no serious safety concerns, Pfizer said in November. The expectation is to receive 250,000 doses this month to protect Mexicans, the health ministry said, adding that the inoculation of health workers will be a priority. President Lopez Obrador said earlier on Wednesday that the government had allocated 20 billion pesos, just under $1 billion, for an initial purchase of COVID-19 vaccines, adding that Mexico has purchase agreements with companies other than Pfizer. The authorization process at the health regulator is being simplified, he said. Mexico's agreement with Pfizer comes the same day as regulators in the United Kingdom granted emergency authorization for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. The rollout in the UK, the first Western nation to approve a COVID-19 vaccine, is scheduled to begin next week, with priority given to elderly and caregivers. Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard acknowledged the UK approval in a Twitter post and said that they have already received the application for authorization here. The United Kingdom has authorized the vaccine developed by Pfizer in Mexico. The regulatory authority, health ministry, already has the corresponding application. What many people imagined was impossible is now reality. Vaccination is about to begin in December of 2020, he wrote. Ebrard said last week that Pfizer would be responsible for transporting the vaccines, which have to be kept at 70 degrees centigrade, or minus 70 degrees centigrade, to the point at which they will be administered, while the health ministry will be responsible for inoculation. Deputy Health Minister Hugo Lopez-Gatell, the government's coronavirus point man, said Tuesday that the military will assist in the vaccination process. The vaccines ordered will be enough to inoculate 17.2 million people, as each person must be given 2 shots, 21 days apart, with only 250,000 doses expected to arrive this month. Just 125,000 Mexicans, or about 1% of the population, will be able to be vaccinated, or 0.1% of the population will be able to be vaccinated by the end of the year. Nevertheless, the news that a vaccine is on the way is undoubtedly good news for Mexico, which has been hit harder by the pandemic than most other countries around the world. The accumulated case tally rose to 1,122,362 on Tuesday, with 8,819 new cases reported by the health ministry. The total is the 11th highest in the world, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. An additional 825 COVID-19 fatalities registered by health authorities lifted Mexico's official pandemic toll to 106,765, the 4th highest in the world, after the United States, Brazil, and India. The case tally and death toll were widely believed to be much higher because Mexico has not tested widely for COVID-19, and I have a link to that lovely article in the show notes. So, are you going to take the vaccine? Are you going to line up and get a shot or two? I've got an idea. I'd like a different kind of shot or two. Tequila. I have some good news, by the way, for Sunday brunch fans. Speaking of tequila and maybe mimosas, here is another one to add to your list. Barcelona Tapas has now opened up for Sunday brunch. That's right. You can now enjoy a beautiful morning view of the Bahia de Banderas with live music and the great food that you would expect from the folks over at Barcelona Tapas. So get over there, add them to your list, and check it out. There is more, but I think it's time. I think it's well past time to get to the interview, shall we? The first episode of the show, if you recall, I introduced you to this place that we're going to be going to right now. It's Cuates y Cuetes restaurant. It's on Playa Los Muertos. And I took you there, if you remember, because they have a very special webcam that I described to you. It will give you a great idea as to what it's like on the ground in Puerto Vallarta. That webcam swivels around, and it gives you, the viewer at home, a boots-on-the-ground idea as to what people are wearing, what's the vibe. It's really great. It is right in the middle of everything. Remember that? In fact, my Puerto Vallarta travel show page has a webcam page right there. It gets more hits, it gets more traffic than any page I have over at the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show website. And you can find that, by the way, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. But when I come to town, when I get into Puerto Vallarta, besides visiting with JR, the very first place that I visit is always Cuates y Cuetes. And then the day that I leave, the very last place that I visit, besides Tacón de Marlin, over at the airport, we'll talk about that maybe another time. Tacón de Marlin, they make the greatest seafood burritos out of this world. And that's just on the other side of the bridge over at the airport. We'll talk about that another day. But the last place that I visit is Cuates y Cuetes. I love their tortilla soup, and I always get it con pollo, with chicken. I ask them to make mine extra spicy because that's how I like most of my food, and they will do whatever you want, and they serve it with toasted buttered French bread, and I add a cold cerveza, and you are in business. They have great live jazz or Latin music almost every day. And when you sit there, you get the total essence of Puerto Vallarta. It is true Puerto Vallarta. Great food. They've got toes in the sand experience right out front. You can dine out on the beach right in front of the place. Or you can dine under their under their palapa with a view of the Los Muertos Pier. It is a magical spot. There are no attitudes from the staff. They're on top of everything. It's very, very informal. You could go as you wish. You can come in a bathing suit, or you can come all dressed up. So I guess you can imagine that I just love Cuates y Cuetes. And I know that if you don't already, you will. And I also think it's about time that we all get to know the owners a little bit and know a little bit more about the history of what is one of my very favorite places in the world, in one of my very favorite cities in the world. So let's go right now to the Los Muertos Pier, to a cool place, about as cool of a place as you will ever find in Puerto Vallarta, sitting up right against the Hotel Marsol with a killer view of the bay and the pier. Let's meet the lady in charge. Her name is Esther Hernandez Zermeño. Her friends call her Tete. And she is from Cuates y Cuetes, and we are going to Cuates y Cuetes Restaurant and Bar, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Esther, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Puerto Vallarta?
No, I was born in Mexico City.
What was your path that led you here to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, my mother decided to come to Puerto Vallarta in 1978. Is when we came here at Puerto Vallarta. We were living in Cancun.
Oh.
So we moved here with her decision.
Right.
I'm 55 years old now. So I was like 13 years old when I came here.
You're a teenager. God, that's perfect timing to hit Puerto Vallarta, right?
Yes,
oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. Now I'm a pata salada.
You know,
I'm
absolutely.
from Puerto Vallarta, yes.
Absolutely. All right, when your parents came, when your mom brought you here, what were they doing? What kind of business were they in?
Well, my mother had a little restaurant in Cancun, and also she had a little jeweler shop. You know, we used to have shops where we sell handcraft shops. You know, and my grandfather, all the time he was a jeweler.
Ah.
And so when we came to Puerto Vallarta, she decides, and so for a little years, we were working in the apartment business too, and we have our little shop. And then after that is how this restaurant is a family business.
Yeah.
I am in charge of the restaurant, but this is my mother's idea. She was who had the vision. Is that the right word?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
She has the vision to open this place. She says when there was it was closed. It used to be another restaurant.
Okay.
The name it was Baby Jaws. I don't know if I say it right.
Baby Jaws?
Yes,
yeah.
Baby Jaws.
Okay.
But they closed, and so at that time, my ex-husband and me, we were looking for to open a little coffee shop. And so was my mother's decision to come and get this place. And
she liked the spot, huh?
She says we are it's one of the 9 or 10 best spots of the whole bay. And it's true, well, be to the left side, the right side of the pier.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
She was right.
She was right.
Absolutely
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Because this is a central location.
Yes.
And she had a great vision.
Also, she put the name also to the restaurant. I mean, she did the whole thing.
Okay. So, all right. So, what does Cuates y Cuetes mean?
It really, Cuates y Cuetes doesn't have any translation into English because both words has a double meaning. And it's like game of words, you know. So the closest that I can tell you is like fun and friends. That will be the closest translation into English.
Yeah, well, you know, properly named.
Yes.
It's a way to do it. All right, so what year was that?
When we opened here?
Yeah.
Was the 1st and 2nd of November, 1993.
1993. So you have just celebrated a pretty big anniversary, haven't you?
Yes, 27 years.
27 years right here. That's amazing. Here. I mean, you know, there aren't a lot of places that survive 1 year, you know, but 27. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yes, I'm very grateful. I feel fortunate because it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
But we're in it helps, of course, the place where we are. But I will say the best thing or the best blessing of Cuates y Cuetes is all the friends that my family and me we have through the years. You know, we've we will get help from different friends, even from United States. You know, we have a very close friends from United States that we consider in them as a family.
Yeah.
And through the time, we will have help from different people, you know, because we get a very, very, like when we have the Kena.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw pictures of your place after Kenna.
Yes, Cuates y Cuetes was destroyed.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my. Yeah. I got a picture of that. I'll put that in the show notes, by the way. Of course, you can find it over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com and look up the Cuates y Cuetes episode, and I'll have the picture of what it looked like when Kenna whacked it. So wow. So yeah, you had to rebuild totally, right?
Yes.
This pier is fairly new. It's like, what, about 8 years old, maybe?
This pier?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, we really went that, yes, it was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6, 7, yes.
So the pier before that, it was a wooden pier, right? It was a wooden pier, and I've seen early pictures of that wooden pier where it actually had like a little cover on the top at the end of the pier. It was very elegant looking, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, this pier, when I came, before we have Cuates y Cuetes, it was all of wood. But I can see when the pier get destroyed, and so they make a new pier of concrete. Would also through the years get destroyed too, you know.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something. I liked it more the way it was before. But I can see the only thing I like about this new pier is the local people from Puerto Vallarta. They're coming more. Before we didn't have as many locals coming.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So they come to enjoy sitting on the pier and
Yes.
walking around, and they love it because it is pretty. You know, it's got a pretty sail, all lit up.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I remember the pier when it was wooden, and the kids used to fish off of it and jump off of it, and
myself,
and
I used
you
to
too, right?
Yes, when I just came here, I was one of the things I did every day was doing the, how do you say it,
dive off the pier. Huh?
dive. Yes.
Yeah, pier diving.
Yes, I did it myself too many times. And so, it was something very nice.
Yeah, wow. So, you know, there are all kinds of evolutions happening around, and that's one of them that's going to be always there before you, right?
Yes,
If something ever happens to this pier, you're going to see the next evolution, and that's very interesting. But again, you know, great place to be. Now, that hotel that's behind you, this is called, it's the...
Hotel Marsol?
The Marsol. How are they doing? How are they surviving over there? They're doing okay? They still got a lot of people staying there?
Hotel Marsol is one of the oldest hotels in Puerto Vallarta, and they have people that already come, you know, like
people come every year, they plan it.
Yes. And they already, it's people, steady people, they always come. Doesn't matter what happened.
Right.
Yes.
So they got like a built-in clientele. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I got that. Let's come back over here to Cuates y Cuetes. Tell everybody a little bit about your menu. When you serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner here.
Yes,
so
we have until now we have breakfast. We open at 8:00 for breakfast, and we close at 11:00. And our last dish we serve it until 10:30.
Okay, yeah. So make sure you get here before the kitchen closes on you. Okay, get here before 10:30.
Yes, and I would say the food that we have, what we've been trying through the years, is to have the closest of a home cooking dishes. You know.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm trying to do. I try always to have people that work in the kitchen, that they are more like women who have that power of making the soup like your grandmother or your mom.
Oh my God! Do they ever? Oh, I love your tortilla soup.
Yes.
My gosh, yeah.
And of course, people when it comes. Well, the people likes to have seafood and stuff like that. So we have some of our dishes like in any restaurant you can have shrimps, and we have filet mignon. those for the people who want something else than to have a home cooking food. you
Right,
know?
right.
So I will say we have a variation of Mexican home cooking to some of international dishes.
What do you find is your most ordered dish? Do you know?
Well, that's very interesting question, because believe me, we've been sitting all the staff and myself. Which dish, because we want to change the menu, and which dish we do not sell that much, you know.
Yeah.
And until the moment, we don't know.
Oh my gosh, really? So it's that evenly spread. There is no standout favorite, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, we have the chicken soup, like as everybody know, but we also have the whole red snapper that we sell. That we are surprised the people from United States or Canada like it too, because I don't know if it's true, but normally guys don't like the whole fish with the ice and all that stuff.
Yeah. Some people are like that, yeah.
But believe me, not the people that comes to Cuates y Cuetes, you know. There's so many U.S. people come in and ask for that. The red snapper is one of our specialties.
And that's the whole red snapper.
Yeah, whole red snapper.
Do you prepare it serendiado, or is
no,
it? How's it prepared?
Serendiado, no.
How's it prepared?
It's just whatever sauce you want, but it's fried with the fish that we sell the most is with garlic and black beans. It's how the people like it, you know.
Yeah.
And we always try to have it as much fresh as possible we can. And that is with the red snapper. And another dishes, it's like, we don't know, it's like, I don't know, it can be one day we say the older thing is we have our Mexican dish, people love that, and our chiles rellenos, you know. But I would say that is our Mexican food. We said, well, no, the coconut shrimp. That's like I told you.
Yeah.
We were asking ourselves, why we take off of our menu? No, but we're gonna start having new dishes, you know, because it's been 27 years. What it makes us confused to us is we have so many same customers that comes every year, and people are waiting to have the same things.
That's right, because when they come to a restaurant, and you know this, when you go to a restaurant, you go there for a specific dish, right?
Yes.
And so, if it's off your menu, wow, what a disappointment. They come all the way here, and then, boom, it's gone.
Just because, people told us that we had to have an evolution and make new things. And then I asked myself, okay, but if people are asking for this, why we're not going to give them to them?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I know it's a whole new it's a whole new kitchen, a whole new, how do you say it in English?
A new kind of culinary world out there, right?
Yes. And so we're going to try this season to have a new stuff for the people who has experienced new things. And keeping our traditional dishes. But like you say, which dishes, you
what
know?
are you going to do? Who are you going to make mad? Oh, man. Well, one thing you could maybe do, you still know how to make the dish. Sure, you can maybe it's not on your menu, but you could still, make it,
Yes.
So, all right. So breakfast, and the breakfast menu and the lunch and dinner menu, are they all the same? Can you have dinner for breakfast?
We have our breakfast menu, and then we have our lunch menu, who is until night, you know.
Yeah.
But this season we're gonna start having one dish of dinner, like a special.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna start to doing that.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Great idea. That's how I would do it.
Yes.
You got it. You nailed it. What's the hardest part about running this place?
Well, in the last years, the hardest part is not having enough staff to give service. Like it comes in the like in the high season, we have not been able to give service to all the people, so we had to take some tables off because we don't have enough staff.
Yeah. So that's the hardest part.
The hardest part is that there is not enough staff to come and work.
Right. I see on your famous Cuates y Cuetes webcam here, this, by the way, is the thing that I think most people in Puerto Vallarta are interested in when they come here. They love this thing. I've seen people pose in front of it, and it's pretty funny. And in fact, I have to tell you that the link that I have your Cuates y Cuetes webcam on my webpage gets the most clicks.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, every day. Every day people are on that. So
I wanted to say that I say thanks to my brother, Sultan Ricardo. Was his idea. I don't remember now how many years ago. I think we have the pelican eye, the hip.
Oh, yeah,
with
I
that
remember.
name.
Yes, sure,
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
I think it's like 10 or I don't know. I don't remember when we started with the first small camera. But it was my brother, is much younger than me, and he's in the computer and all that stuff.
Right.
And so was his idea to do that.
So, how do you guys decide, what to do with your camera? Every once in a while you change it. Every once in a while it goes all the way around. Sometimes it just goes out on the beach.
Now we did not having to face Cuates y Cuetes because we had some issues with the people that if the people were wearing masks or wearing masks and things that were not right. So we said, okay, we're going to just put it on the ocean.
Push it down at the ocean, right? We don't want to hear about people eating without a mask on because it's hard to eat without a mask, you guys, okay?
Yes.
Come on, get it straight. It's really hard.
Yes.
All right. Get off my soapbox. But we love this. We love the Cuates y Cuetes cam. I got to tell you, I'm on it every day just to make sure everything's still here.
Thank you.
All right. So, and I notice, because you've got this Cuates y Cuetes cam, that you do have employees that stay. I mean, they're here every year after year.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're doing something right for your family here, for your employees.
Thank you. Yes, I have Toño Ortega, that is the manager of Cuates y Cuetes. We've been working 26 years together. A lot of the people that we have here they've been working with us for more than 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Also, we have a new staff too, but we try to be able to keep them.
Yeah, it's hard, right? It's hard because people take your staff away, right?
Yes, and that's understandable. That now what we call the millennials. It is different. The people now is different. Before I remember, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, people will stay a longer time. But now it's different. They want to experience different things. Even though that I have discovered with the young people that they come and work, they are happy, but they want to go in other places, Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is just happened to Cuates y Cuetes. But it's something is happening to us. So the traditional, that should not be the word, the stable people that we've been working here for years, they are the only ones who stayed with me, no?
Yeah. It's, I think it's endemic. I think it, you look at baseball teams. You used to have the same players on the same team for their whole career, and now they're looking to go somewhere else. And so it's it's that kind of thing, I think,
Yes.
Which is kind of sad because this is a great place to work. I mean, my goodness, how awful could it be to work on the beach? Come on.
Yes.
It's not that bad. Have you ever, people drink a lot around here. They have a good time. You ever seen anything kind of crazy that you can share with us? Or you could say no.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has happened crazy things. But I'm starting to have such a bad memory. I don't remember right now, but yes, we be having very, very crazy things.
Yeah.
Fun, very funny things too. All kind of stuff, yes.
Yeah, you need to write a book. You
Yes.
need to write a book and you remember it that way.
Yes,
That's
yes.
how you do it. That's how
I will do that.
Yeah.
I will start making my book.
You
yes.
can.
Yes.
You
yes,
can. And
yes.
people will buy it too.
Yes, yes, yes. yes.
I bet.
Yes.
Now, usually at this time, I would go and I would start talking about other restaurants. I'd say, what's your favorite lunch, dinner, and breakfast place? But you're a restaurant. You're open for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. So I'm not going to ask you that. We're going to go over into the other part of my bonus round. I'm going to ask you if you were going to leave town for a day and just a day trip. You're going to come back the same day. Where's your favorite place to go? Where would you go?
For
For a day off.
For day off.
Yeah. I know Esther's going, I don't get days off. What are you talking about?
No, yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Okay.
Yes, I do. I will go to Jalapa.
Uh-huh.
And also, but if I don't want to have both, well, there is a restaurant that I like and I love, is La Palapa,
Okay.
which these are places where I go. Another restaurant, so many restaurants. Well, I will go to, I don't know if you ever go inside of the El Jorullo. You
No.
have to go there.
What's El Jorullo? Where's that? What is that? Where is that?
Jorullo Paradise. If I
Okay.
can take the day, I will go there. There is no music, and you go there. I mean, you hear only the sound of the grillos, the crickets, and the nature, Mother Nature. Is into the, where is Paso Ancho?
Sure. Yeah.
Go all the way up.
Ah, okay.
That is a place you have to go.
Now, it's close to the Canopy River, or is it?
It's farther than
it's
Canopy.
farther. Okay.
Yes,
so it's
farther.
Farther and higher?
Higher, yes.
Okay. Now
And
that
it's a
sounds...
beautiful place.
So you get there by car?
I get, yes.
Okay. Do we need a 4x4 or anything like that, or is it? Or
Yes,
can you get there?
yes,
You do.
yes,
You need a
because
good
the
sturdy
road
car.
it's a little bit hard. It's where I went and get all my. Can you see the corn that I have here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I still having. If you see the bags.
Oh yeah, you got bags of it. Yeah, you sure
Yes.
do.
We just get them a week ago. They how do you say harvest?
Yeah.
For us. So this was for us. When they put the seeds on the harvest, they think in ourselves, and so we get them and bring them here because it's part of Cuates.
It is definitely. I'll make sure that you guys see those. If you've never been to Cuates y Cuetes,
Yes,
you'll see the pictures.
well, you will love that place, El Jorullo Paradise.
Is it? Is there a place? Yeah, there's a place to eat there. You said.
Yes, it's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
And it has like a little pools.
Oh,
I don't know how to. And in Spanish, it says like a little piletas. Piletas is like a little,
Like a
very
puddle.
small,
Yeah.
of water, aguas termales. Do you understand aguas termales? Is water that it comes already
Like a spring.
warm. Yeah.
A spring. Yeah.
What is the name of in English? That
Thermal. It would be a thermal. Well, it would be a hot spring.
hot springs.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you can rent one. You can pay for a day,
Yeah.
and nobody else can. It's just for you. And you're right next to the river.
Wow. Really? Oh my god. And now, can you stay overnight there, or is it? Or do
They have a place to stay overnight. I haven't been there for overnight. I go for the day.
just for the day?
It only takes like 1 hour, 20 minutes to go there.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. All right. I got to look into this.
Yes.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. How about if you're going to go away for like 3 days? What would you do? Where would you go?
If I go for 3 days, well, I will go to, which I haven't done it, and it's something I wanted to do. Is I like to go to the side of for San Blas,
Ah. Yeah. Up in Nayarit.
and up in the Nayarit all the way If I have the 3 days driving myself, I will go. We say in Spanish, rancheando. It's like stopping in every, taking from San Pancho and later go to Lo de Marcos and go to that side. I wanted to go there and go to San Blas and go to Mezcaltitan. Have you been in Mezcaltitan?
I have not. No.
You have to go to Mezcaltitan.
Tell me about it.
Mezcaltitan is supposed. Well, there is this. They don't say if it's a fact, but it's a theory. It's a little Iceland, little
island.
one. They don't have any cars or anything. Just our houses there. All the people live there from fishing, from fishing the shrimps.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's supposed is where the Aztecs, they confuse this place with the eagle eating a snake, and is where they say it is when the first Aztecs came there, and then it was not the right place, and then they traveled, and this when they find Mexico City. Okay, he says
that's the
theory.
That's the theory. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is it's interesting to a place where there is houses and streets, and there is no any car.
No cars. Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It
no?
is, yeah. Well, we have a place like that in California, very similar. Catalina Island is almost like that.
Okay.
They do have little golf carts that you can get around on, and the city actually does have a few cars, but same idea. Yeah, you gotta get around some other way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful
Yes.
when that happens. What kind of word of advice would you give to a first-time traveler who's coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I will give them the advice to go and stay at the Hotel Rosita.
Ah, really? Okay.
It's one of the oldest. Is the oldest hotel in Puerto Vallarta, because it gives you to be in touch with the heart of Puerto Vallarta.
Ah.
You know.
Yeah.
Also, you could stay in Casa Maria Elena. We have apartments too
Oh, you
across
do?
the street from here.
Ah.
Because going to Hotel Rosita, you can walk to the Malecón and have the feeling of Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
No?
Definitely.
And to come into the pier and take a boat by knowing the place, go to Jalapa, and also, what else I will... There are places. I'm trying to find the places where it used to be open.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I can see...
There's
they
places
close.
that are closing, yeah.
Yes. Good question. With this pandemic thing, I can see that I have to be a tourist again in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, because you got to see what's still around and what's
Yes.
happening, right, in town.
Yes. It's like you did me a very good question, because normally you can go to the market. Also, if you want to get close to the people, the famous market is right to the Quale, going upstairs.
Oh, the Central Market. Mercado
Yes.
Central, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to go upstairs there. You know what? You don't. That's also real Mexico up there.
Yes.
You know those counters. There's those little luncherias that are upstairs. They're unique, and they're riverside.
Yeah, the
So
riverside.
you've got a view of the river.
Because they will not be surviving by locals if they don't have the flavor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's right. That's
If we
right.
will be only tourists, they will not be existent.
Exactly right.
What else? Good question is because I'm thinking about the restaurants so it used to be for like where the local people hang out, and I don't remember much. La Palapa too is a restaurant. It's been for so many years, you know,
Yeah.
much more than Cuates y Cuetes.
But just get out, right?
Just get
out
out.
with the people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
walk.
learn about the town. Don't go sit by a pool at a resort. That's really what you're talking about.
Come and do all the walking, and you will feel the whole thing. Go up and where it used to be the Elizabeth Taylor house, all the way up.
Yeah, walk up in El Cerro. There's
Cerro,
beautiful
yes,
homes.
It's
beautiful. It's a nice walk. Well, if you want to exercise, straight up hills and stuff, that's what you do.
Or take a taxi and go up, and then you can see the city.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Any word of warning for somebody who's coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I will say the same thing that can be in any city. Do not, if you go out late at night, don't go to places where you can feel that you can be in trouble,
Right on.
Don't bring all your stuff, leave your passport and stuff like that, your value things in your home, because it can happen like any place, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't be careful what you're drinking, don't get
too drunk. Don't get too
that-
loaded.
No, unless if you're in a hotel and you take the taxi where the hotel comes and write the number. I would say it is like in any place where you have. Normally, Puerto Vallarta, we're very safe, no? But it can happen. It can happen. You come out and you go to a street where you're not supposed to be, and then be very late at night walking. It can happen.
It can.
Someone come and...
Yeah, it happens in your neighborhood too. So look
Yes.
out, everybody. Just be careful. Don't get too drunk. Have your head on straight. That's the way to do it. Let's come back here to Cuates y Cuetes. You have a website. I know that because that's where you got the webcam.
Yes.
And that's at cuatesycuetes.com.
Yes.
And good for you getting that cuatesycuetes.com nailed down. That's very good. You also have Facebook. Are you on Instagram?
Yes, we have a Facebook. That is Cuates y Cuetes Facebook. Sorry, because we haven't put much information in our web. How to say web?
Your webpage.
Webpage. We're gonna start doing that.
Okay, good.
And we have a Facebook too, where I do very often a live videos.
Uh-huh. I love your live videos, Esther. I love it when you're out there and she's pointing out to the place that we love the most. So
Yes.
make sure that you follow. Go find them on Facebook. Follow them, and when Esther comes up, you'll see her. You'll see her filming. She usually doesn't film herself, but she films the beach. She walks out to the pier and films back, and so that you can feel like you're here.
Yes.
And I think she's trying to get you to come back.
and you will see my nickname is Tete. In English, we will say TT, but no, it's Tete.
Okay.
If you say, well, who is Tete? Esther. Tete is from nickname from Esther. I wanted to say something also about Cuates y Cuetes, is about our live music.
Oh, yeah, yes. Absolutely. You have live music in the afternoons and in the evenings, don't you?
Yes, and normally in the mornings. But because of the pandemic time, we have cut a lot of our live music.
Yeah.
But thanks very much to the musicians. All together, we've been working to try to this not be end.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that much of people coming in.
Yeah.
But they accept to help, even though whether they get money or not.
Wow. Wow, really?
So I'm very grateful.
Well, you guys hear that? So tip the musicians. Tip them good.
Yes, we either have jazz music or Latino music. We have that kind of music.
The beautiful. Yeah, that's, and at night, anytime you walk by here when the music is playing, you've got great artists here. You do, and it's very, very. I mean, there's nothing more romantic than sitting here at night, right by the beach, and being serenaded by these guys and gals with the most beautiful voices. Sometimes they have a violin. Sometimes they've got, a saxophone. I mean, they're just, it is a great place to come for entertainment. It really is. I'm sorry I forgot about that. Yeah, I shouldn't forget about that.
No, it's okay.
All right, so I will have links to the Facebook page. I will have links to the website, of course, and of course you know where to find the webcam on at PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. And I'll have Esther's smiling face. I'll have pictures of Cuates y Cuetes, and I'll even get some pictures of some of the staff here. And is there anything I left out? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to say thank you very much for doing this for Cuates y Cuetes. One only thing I can add to all this is to thank you to all the people who has been able to come, and thanks to them, thanks to you, thanks to everybody, that we are in our 27th anniversary.
Felicidades.
Yes, because this is the month of our anniversary, that we postponed the whole party because of the regulations,
Sure, yeah.
The only thing that comes to my mind now is I'm so grateful.
Excellent.
Gratefulness. Is that right?
Wonderful. Well, we're grateful for you. We're grateful for Cuates y Cuetes. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and allowing me to introduce you to my listeners. I really appreciate that, Esther.
Well, I will say in the name of Puerto Vallarta and on all the places, we are grateful to you because you are doing this beautiful publicity and spread of word of Puerto Vallarta, which we need that, We need the people to know that we are in a safe place, in a very nice and romantic town, and you're helping to do that. So
I want you to come back. It's safe. Come back, everyone, all right? Yeah. And thank you so much.
Thank you
Esther.
very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Esther. I love Cuates y Cuetes. I have links, I have maps, and I have pictures of the restaurant. I have pictures of Esther, and I have that picture of Cuates y Cuetes that we talked about after Hurricane Kenna hit. You're going to find that over in the show notes, as well as pictures and maps and links, and I really mean it when I say that Cuates y Cuetes, without a doubt, is one of my top 5 places in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I love the staff. I love the location. I love their tortilla soup. And I love Esther. Make sure that you like Cuates y Cuetes when you go visit them on Facebook. Like the page, and you'll get notifications whenever Esther does her morning reports. And that will get your Puerto Vallarta juices flowing. You will love it. All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me. Click on the Contact Us tab and send us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. Don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more, and I have links to those in the show notes. And now, once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes or wherever you happen to be listening to this show. or share with a friend. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. And if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have the links of the places that we talk about. I have interesting pictures and more right there in the blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you, Esther Hernandez Cermeño. I love Cuates y Cuetes. It is unpretentious, it's friendly, it's affordable. The food, the drinks are always great, and the entertainment is always so Puerto Vallarta. The view of the Los Muertos Pier, day and night, it's great. Eat on the beach with your toes in the sand or in the rustic restaurant. It's always my first and last stop in Puerto Vallarta. Once or twice during the stay as well. And don't forget their webcam. You can find it over at cuatesycuetes.com or go to my webcam page over at puertovallartatravelshow.com. I have pictures and I have links and all you need to get yourself on down to Cuates y Cuetes to see Esther. Follow them on Facebook too. You will be so glad that you did. And thank you to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off for Wish Me to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino interno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta.